The ship landed with a soft hiss on the metal platform. June Kim stepped out and looked up at the massive building in front of him. The Galactic Military Academy stood tall against the purple sky of planet Tejo. This was the toughest military school in the galaxy, and he was the first human ever to be accepted. "You are late, Earth creature," said a deep voice. June turned to see a tall, blue-skinned alien with 4 arms crossing all limbs across his chest. The name tag read, Commander Do Hyun. "I apologize, sir. The transport from Earth was delayed," June said, standing straight. "Excuses already? Perhaps humans are as weak as they say." The commander walked around June, studying him like a bug. "You are smaller than I expected." June kept his eyes forward. He knew this would happen. Humans had only joined the galactic community 20 years ago. Most aliens still saw them as primitive and weak. "Report to Building C for processing. Try not to die on the way there." The commander walked away, leaving June alone on the landing pad. "A human? Here? Is this some kind of joke?" The words followed June as he walked down the hallway to his room. Aliens of all shapes and sizes stared at him. Some had extra limbs. Others had scales or feathers. All of them looked stronger than him. His room was small with 4 beds. 3 other cadets were already there. One was tall with reptile-like skin. Another had 6 eyes. The third was covered in blue fur. "I am Cadet June Kim," he said, putting his bag on the empty bed. The reptile alien stood up. He was nearly 7 feet tall with muscles that seemed to ripple under his green scales. "I am Tae-Wan of the Saurid Empire. You do not belong here, human. The Academy is no place for soft-skinned creatures who have barely learned to leave their own planet. I passed the same entrance tests as you," June replied calmly. Tae-Wan laughed, showing rows of sharp teeth. "Someone made a mistake. It will be fixed soon enough." The next morning, all new cadets gathered in a massive training hall. Commander Do-hyun stood on a platform in front of them. "Welcome to hell," he said. "Half of you will not graduate. A quarter of you will quit in the first month. Some may not survive at all." His eyes found June in the crowd. "The Galactic Military Academy accepts only the best. We do not care about your species, your background, or your excuses. We care only about results." The first test was physical strength. Cadets had to lift heavy weights that increased in mass until failure. June watched as Tae-Wan lifted weights that would crush a car on Earth. When it was June's turn, he managed only the basic level. Laughter filled the hall. "Pathetic," Commander Do-hyun said. "Move to the next station." The second test was reaction time. June did better, scoring in the middle of the group. The third test was endurance, running on a track where the gravity increased every lap. Most aliens began to struggle after 10 laps. By 15 laps, half had dropped out. At 20 laps, only June and 3 others remained. The aliens looked shocked as the small human kept running. "Enough," Commander Do-hyun called after 30 laps. He looked at June with narrowed eyes. Interesting. That night, June sat alone in the dining hall. The food was a gray paste that tasted like cardboard. No one sat near him. "You are the human," said a voice. A small alien with wings stood beside his table, holding a tray. "Yes. June Kim. I am Young-ho. May I sit?" June nodded, surprised. Young-ho sat across from him. "You did well in the endurance test today," Young-ho said. "Thanks. I did terribly in everything else, but you did not quit. Many thought you would." Young-ho's wings fluttered slightly. "Humans are new to us. Some fear what they do not understand." Before June could reply, a shadow fell over the table. Tae-Wan stood there with 2 friends. "Making friends with the pet Young-ho? Perhaps you both can share a cage." Young-ho's wings pulled tight against his back. He grabbed his tray and left quickly. Tae-Wan leaned down close to June's face. "Tomorrow we have our first combat simulation. Prepare yourself, human." The combat simulation was held in a massive room that could change its shape. 20 cadets entered, each given basic armor and a training weapon that could stun but not kill. "Your mission is simple," Commander Do-hyun said. Reach the other side of the room. Those who fail will spend the night in the freezing chambers. The room transformed into a jungle with high gravity. Obstacles appeared, along with robotic enemies that fired stun blasts. June moved forward carefully. He noticed Tae-Wan and his friends moving nearby, watching him. When he reached a narrow bridge over a deep pit, Tae-Wan appeared beside him. "Need help, human?" he asked with a smile. Before June could answer, Tae-Wan's friend pushed past and accidentally knocked into June's equipment belt. Something beeped. "Oops," Tae-Wan said. "Looks like your gravity stabilizer is malfunctioning. Bad luck." June felt his body suddenly become 3 times heavier. He fell to his knees as Tae-Wan laughed and moved on. The gravity stabilizer had been sabotaged. Without it, the room's high gravity would crush him. Most species would give up. But June had grown up on Earth, with gravity already higher than most inhabited planets. He began to crawl forward, each movement taking all his strength. Other cadets passed him, some laughing, others looking with pity. Robotic enemies fired at him, and without the ability to move quickly, several blasts hit him, sending pain through his body. But he kept moving. After what felt like hours, June dragged himself to the final section. Only one other cadet remained on the course. Everyone else had either finished or quit. The last obstacle was a climbing wall that reached 30 feet high. Without a working gravity stabilizer, it seemed impossible. June studied the wall and noticed maintenance panels on the side. Taking a risk, he pried one open and found a network of pipes inside. Instead of climbing over, he could climb through. When June finally emerged on the other side of the room, Commander Do-hyun was waiting. The other cadets stared in shock. "You are last," the commander said coldly. "And you cheated." "The rules were to reach the other side," June replied, breathing hard. "You didn't specify how." A thin smile appeared on Do-hyun's face. "True, but your equipment was tampered with. Why didn't you report it?" "Because humans don't make excuses." "Sir?" The commander studied him for a long moment. "Everyone dismissed, except you, human. You have earned a special evaluation." That night, June met with Hana Park, a human diplomat who had secretly arranged his acceptance to the academy. "How bad is it?" she asked in their private meeting room. "Bad, but I'm still here." June rubbed his sore muscles. "You know why this matters, right? Humans need to prove themselves. The galactic powers see us as weak, primitive. If you succeed here—" "I know what's at stake," June interrupted, "but the system itself is designed against human biology. Every test, every simulation is built for their physiology, not ours." Hana nodded. "That's exactly the point. If you can succeed in a system designed for them, imagine what humans could do in a system designed for us." June looked out the window at the stars. "They think I'll break. And will you?" A small smile crossed his face. "No, they've never dealt with humans before. They don't understand what we're capable of when pushed into a corner." "Good," Hana said, "because this is just the beginning." 2 weeks passed. June's body ached all the time now. The special evaluation from Commander Do-hyun had been brutal. 12 hours of continuous drills in high gravity. But June had refused to quit. Every morning he woke up before the others. While they slept, he studied. Not just the academy materials, but books about the biology of each alien species. If he was going to survive, he needed to understand his opponents. One morning before sunrise, June was in the physical training room when the door opened. A tall figure with smooth metallic skin entered. "You are not scheduled for this facility," the synthetic being said. "I need extra practice," June replied. "I'm at a disadvantage." The synthetic being tilted its head. "I am Jinwoo, Medical Services. Your file is unusual. No human has attempted this training before. That's why I need to work harder." Jinwoo watched as June struggled to lift weights, designed for stronger species. "Your approach is inefficient. Human muscles develop differently. Your advantage is not in single bursts of strength, but in repeated actions over time. June lowered the weights. What do you mean? Humans evolved as persistence hunters. Your ancestors chased prey until it collapsed from exhaustion. No other species in the academy evolved this way. Jinwoo pointed to different equipment. Train. Your endurance, it is your natural advantage. The wilderness survival test came next. All cadets were transported to Taejo's largest moon, a place with crushing gravity and toxic air. They wore protective suits and had to reach a base camp 20 miles away. You have 24 hours, Commander Do-hyun announced. Those who fail will be collected if they are still alive. As soon as the test began, Taewon and the other strong aliens rushed ahead. June started at a steady pace, remembering Jinwoo's words about human endurance. After 4 hours, June passed the first aliens who had stopped to rest. Their powerful bodies, built for bursts of strength, struggled with the continuous strain of high gravity. Young-ho, the winged alien June had met briefly, was sitting on a rock, breathing hard. His wings were useless in the heavy atmosphere. You should leave me, Young-ho said when June stopped. I cannot continue. Yes, you can, June replied. He had studied Young-ho's species. Your legs are stronger than you think. Your wings are holding you back here. June helped him tie his wings flat against his back. Walk with me, not fast, just steady. Together they continued the journey. More aliens had collapsed along the way, their bodies not designed for long-term exertion. By hour 18, June and Young-ho passed even Taewon, who stared in disbelief as the human and the small winged alien walked by. They were the third team to reach the base camp. Commander Do-hyun watched with narrow eyes as June helped Young-ho across the finish line. Interesting strategy, human, he said. Helping the weak instead of competing. We both finished ahead of most others, June pointed out. Sometimes cooperation is stronger than competition. The commander's face remained blank, but June noticed a flicker of something in his eyes. Perhaps respect. That night, Director Sang-min summoned June to his office. The director was older, with gray skin and wisdom in his eyes. Cadet Kim, he said, your performance is causing discussion among the faculty. Good discussion or bad, sir? Both. Some believe your methods are unorthodox, others find them intriguing. The director looked at a screen showing June's training data. You access the training rooms at night. You study alien biology instead of weapons. You form alliances with weaker cadets. I'm adapting, sir. Yes, you are. And that worries some people. The director leaned forward. Commander Do-hyun has requested you be placed under special observation. June felt his heart sink. Am I being expelled? No. You are being watched. Many did not want a human in this academy. They expect you to fail. Some may even want you to fail. I won't fail, sir. The director's mouth formed what might have been a smile. We shall see. Tomorrow begins combat training with live weapons. Be careful, Cadet Kim. The combat arena was a massive dome with various terrains: forest, desert, urban ruins. Cadets were divided into teams of 4. June was placed with Young-ho and 2 others who looked unhappy to be with the human. Their opponents were led by Taewon. The reptilian alien grinned at June, showing his sharp teeth. Today we use harmonic disruptors, the weapons instructor, Professor Hyunwoo explained. They are set to stun, not kill, but they will cause pain. June examined the weapon he was given. It was heavy, designed for 4-armed species. He would have trouble aiming and firing quickly. As the match began, June's team moved into the forest section. The 2 unhappy cadets went one way while June and Young-ho went another. They left us to be easy targets, Young-ho said, his wings fluttering nervously. Then let's not be where they expect, June replied. He had been studying the arena's layout. The weapons are designed for direct confrontation, but there are other ways to win. Instead of hiding, June led Young-ho to higher ground. From there, they could see Taewon's team hunting them. Their weapons are powerful, but slow to recharge, June whispered. They expect us to run or hide. Instead, we'll attack them when they're vulnerable. When Taewon's team split up to cover more ground, June and Young-ho struck. They waited until a weapon was fired, then attacked during the recharge period. One by one, they eliminated 3 of the 4 opponents. Only Taewon remained. He was furious now, charging through the forest looking for them. He's too strong to attack directly, Young-ho warned. We won't attack him, June said. We'll let him attack himself. Using himself as bait, June let Taewon catch glimpses of him, leading the angry alien into a trap. When Taewon fired at a shadow, his shot hit a reflective surface and bounced back, stunning him with his own weapon. Professor Hyunwoo's voice came over the speakers. Match concluded. Victory to Team 4. As they left the arena, the professor stopped June. Innovative tactics, Cadet Kim, using the environment against a stronger opponent. Not the traditional approach we teach here. Humans had to learn to survive against bigger predators, sir. We had to get creative. The professor nodded slowly. Perhaps there is something to learn from human methods after all. That evening, Jinwoo found June in the medical bay, treating a burn from the combat training. Your performance is improving, the synthetic being said. But you still fight the system instead of making it work for you. What do you mean? Jinwoo looked around to ensure they were alone. The training systems here are programmed for specific biologies. They can be adjusted. Adjusted how? Come to Medical Bay C tonight. I will show you how to hack the training programs to recognize human physiology. It is not against the rules to optimize your training. As Jinwoo left, June realized something was changing. He was no longer just surviving at the academy. He was beginning to thrive. The midterm assessments shocked everyone. June placed in the top 30% of the class. It was unheard of for a first-year cadet to rise so quickly, especially a human. News spread beyond the academy. One morning, a new ship landed on the platform. From it stepped Admiral Minji, one of the highest-ranking officers in the Galactic Fleet. Her silver uniform gleamed in the sunlight as she marched into the academy. All cadets were called to the main hall. Admiral Minji stood on the platform with Commander Do-hyun and Director Sang-min. I have come to observe your progress, the Admiral announced. Her eyes found June in the crowd, particularly our unique experiment. After the assembly, June returned to training with new confidence. Jinwoo's help had been valuable. The synthetic being had shown him how to adjust the training systems to recognize human biology. Now June could train properly, focusing on human strengths like fine motor control and complex problem-solving. Young-ho was not his only ally now. 2 other cadets, a crystal-skinned being named Gi-ho and a gravity manipulator called Su-jin, had joined their study group. They had been impressed by June's combat strategies. Today we begin psychological warfare training, Professor Hyunwoo announced to the class. Your minds will be tested as much as your bodies. The cadets were taken to a special room with neural connectors. These will create illusions based on your deepest fears, the professor explained. You must overcome them to complete the test. June was strapped into a chair. The neural connector touched his head, and suddenly he was back on Earth, watching alien ships destroy his home. It felt completely real. He knew it was an illusion, but his heart raced anyway. As he fought through the scenario, he noticed something strange. The system seemed confused by his human brain. The illusions flickered, giving him moments of clarity the other cadets didn't have. When the test ended, a female cadet with silver skin approached him. You are different, she said quietly. Her name tag read, Yun-Su. I'm human, June replied simply. No, it's more than that. I am Nebulan. We can read minds, but I cannot read yours. She looked troubled. No one can read human minds. It makes others unafraid. Before June could respond, Admiral Minji appeared in the doorway. Cadet Kim, come with me. The Admiral's temporary office had large windows overlooking the training grounds. She did not invite June to sit. You are causing quite a stir, human, she said coldly. Some see your progress as impressive. I see it as concerning. I'm just trying to succeed, Admiral. That's what worries me. She paced around him. Humans are new to our community. unpredictable, dangerous perhaps. Your species still fights wars among yourselves. Many species had violent beginnings, June said carefully, but most follow predictable patterns of development. Humans do not. The Admiral stopped in front of him. Your brain scans during the psychological test were unusual, almost as if you were resistant to the technology. June said nothing. I believe allowing a human into the academy was a mistake, she continued. One that I intend to correct. The next challenge was a spacewalk exercise. Cadets had to perform repairs on the outside of a training vessel while dealing with changing conditions. June's team included Young-ho, Gi-ho, and a reluctant cadet named Jun Seo. They put on their spacesuits and prepared to exit the airlock. Check. All equipment twice, June told his team, remembering what had happened in his first simulation. Sure enough, he found that the oxygen regulator on his suit had been tampered with. He quickly swapped it with a spare. Outside the ship, the cadets moved carefully along the hull. Suddenly, the artificial gravity shifted, sending several cadets tumbling into space. Their safety tethers caught them, except for Jun Seo, whose tether snapped. Without thinking, June pushed off from the hull, using his suit's thrusters to intercept the panicking cadet. He grabbed Jun Seo, but now they were both drifting away from the ship. June's mind raced. The thrusters didn't have enough power to get them back. Then he remembered a lesson from Earth history. Astronauts using air pressure as propulsion. Release oxygen from your emergency tank in short bursts, he told Jun Seo. Point it away from the direction you want to go. Using this method, they slowly made their way back to the ship. As they reached the hull, another cadet lost her grip. Young-ho tried to help, but also began to drift away. June secured Jun Seo, then launched himself again, this time catching both Young-ho and the other cadet. Using the same oxygen technique, he brought all three back safely. When they finally returned inside, Commander Do-hyun was waiting. Explain your actions, Cadet Kim. I saw cadets in danger and helped them, sir. You abandoned your assigned task to risk your life for others, the commander said. But there was no anger in his voice. 3 cadets would have been lost without your intervention. From the back of the room, Admiral Minji watched with narrow eyes. That evening, a formal complaint was filed against June. He was summoned to a disciplinary hearing with Director Sang-min, Commander Do-hyun, and Admiral Minji. Cadet Kim has violated multiple protocols, the Admiral said. He hacked training systems, modified equipment, and disrupted standard procedures. I recommend immediate expulsion. Director Sang-min looked troubled. These are serious accusations. I did adjust the training systems, June admitted, but only to make them recognize human biology. The systems were designed for other species. Exactly my point, Admiral Minji said sharply. This academy was not built for humans. Your presence here is a mistake. To everyone's surprise, Commander Do-hyun spoke up. I disagree, Admiral. The room went silent. Cadet Kim has shown exceptional adaptability. He has overcome obstacles specifically designed against his biology. His combat strategies are unorthodox but effective. And today he saved 3 lives using a technique none of us would have considered. The commander looked directly at June. That is exactly what this academy seeks to develop. Officers who can think beyond standard protocols. Admiral Minji's face hardened. This is not just about one cadet, it's about what humans represent. They are unpredictable. If they learn our military tactics, then perhaps we might learn something from them as well, Director Sang-min interrupted. The complaint is dismissed. Cadet Kim will continue his training. As June left the room, he passed Yoon-soo in the Kyo hallway. The Nebulan cadet whispered, "Be careful. The Admiral will not give up so easily." That night, Director Sang-min called all cadets to the main hall. His face was solemn. The time has come for the final challenge of this term, he announced. The impossible scenario. Murmurs spread through the crowd. The impossible scenario was legendary, a simulation so difficult that no cadet had ever completed it. This test, We'll push you beyond all limits, the director continued. Many have tried, all have failed. It begins tomorrow. As the cadets left, Commander Do-hyun approached June. The Admiral will be watching you closely, human. She has even invited General Jae-sung, the creator of the impossible scenario, to observe. Why does she hate humans so much? June asked. The commander's expression remained neutral. Fear rarely needs a logical reason, Cadet Kim. Remember that tomorrow. June nodded, understanding the warning. The real test was not just the simulation, it was proving that humans belonged in the galaxy's future. Morning arrived with a tense atmosphere. Cadets gathered in the simulation chamber, faces serious. A legend stood before them. General Jae-sung, creator of the impossible scenario. The old alien had gray skin and eyes that had seen countless battles. I designed this test 20 years ago, the general said, his voice deep and rough. No one has ever passed it. It is called impossible for a reason. Admiral Minji stood beside him, her eyes finding June in the crowd. Her message was clear. Today, the human would fail. The cadets were divided into teams of 5. June's team included Young-ho, Gi-ho, Jun-seo, and to his surprise, Yoon-soo. I requested to join your team, the Nebulan mind reader explained quietly. I cannot read your thoughts, but I trust your actions. Commander Do-hyun explained the rules. The simulation creates a battle scenario with increasing difficulty. You must reach the command center and activate the shutdown protocol. No team has ever made it past level 3. There are 5 levels. Before entering, June gathered his team. We need to understand what makes this test impossible. It adapts to use your weaknesses against you, Young-ho said. At least that's what older cadets told me. June thought for a moment. If it's designed to exploit weaknesses common to all species here, then you might have an advantage, Yoon-soo finished. Because humans are different, they entered the simulation. Level 1 began in a jungle setting with weak enemies. June's team moved through it quickly, working together to overcome obstacles. Level 2 shifted to a desert with extreme
heat.
Many species suffered in heat, but humans had evolved with excellent cooling systems. Sweat. While other teams slowed down, June's team maintained their pace. Something is wrong, Jun-seo said as they reached the end of level 2. This seems too easy. It's not easy, June replied. It's just not targeting our specific weaknesses yet. Level 3 changed everything. The environment became a maze with toxic gas that affected everyone differently. Yoon-soo began to lose her mental abilities. Gi-ho's crystal skin started to crack. Young-ho's wings stiffened. June felt his lungs burning, but he pushed forward. The gas affects everyone, he gasped, but we can still move. They were the only team to complete level 3. As they entered level 4, Admiral Minji whispered something to a technician. The technician nodded and adjusted controls on the simulation panel. Suddenly, the difficulty increased dramatically. The gravity doubled, then tripled. Robotic enemies appeared with weapons that seemed to know exactly where to hit each team member's weaknesses. This isn't right, Yoon-soo said, struggling to stand. The simulation has been modified. June looked around. His teammates were suffering. The normal protocol would be to retreat. That's what every team before them had done when faced with impossible odds. But humans didn't believe in no-win scenarios. Listen to me, June said, gathering his struggling team. They designed this test expecting certain reactions. We need to do the unexpected. He quickly assigned new roles opposite to everyone's natural abilities. Young-ho, you take point instead of flying. Gi-ho, focus on speed, not strength. Jun-seo, you're our shield, not our technician. This makes no sense, Jun-seo protested. Exactly. The simulation is programmed to counter our normal approaches, so we do what it doesn't expect. Their strange strategy confused the simulation. By acting against their natural tendencies, they created patterns the program couldn't predict. Slowly, painfully, they made progress through level 4. In the control room, General Jae-sung watched with growing interest. Fascinating. They're disrupting the predictive algorithms. Admiral Minji frowned. Increased difficulty to maximum. That wasn't part of the test parameters. Commander Do-hyun objected. Do it anyway, she ordered. A young officer named Se-jin looked troubled. She quietly slipped out of the room. Inside the simulation, Level 5 hit like a storm. The environment shifted every 30 seconds. Gravity fluctuated wildly. Enemies seemed to teleport around them. We can't win this, Giho said, as another blast knocked him down. It's truly impossible now. June helped him up. We're not trying to win their way, we're finding our own way. He studied the changing patterns of the room. There was something familiar about the sequence. It reminded him of old Earth video games, where impossible levels often had hidden shortcuts. The simulation has a code, he realized. A pattern. We don't need to fight through. We need to find the glitch in the system. While his team provided cover, June analyzed the shifting patterns. If the simulation followed standard programming, there would be a reset point between environment changes, a fraction of a second where things weren't fully formed. When I say now, everyone run to that corner, he ordered, watching the cycle. As the environment began to shift again, June shouted, now! The team sprinted to the corner he had indicated. For a brief moment, the walls flickered. They pushed through and found themselves in a strange, empty corridor not meant to be part of the simulation. A buffer zone between programmed areas, June explained. Every system needs them. This unplanned pathway led them directly to the command center, bypassing the final challenges. When they reached the shutdown controls, the simulation technician stared in shock. June smiled as he pressed the button. Simulation complete. Alarms sounded throughout the academy. No one knew how to react. The impossible scenario had been beaten. In the control room, Admiral Minji was furious. They cheated. They found a programming flaw. No, General Jae-sung said calmly. They found a solution no one else considered. I designed that buffer zone as a test, to see if anyone would think beyond the obvious path. He turned to Commander Do-hyun. In my 50 years of service, I've never seen a cadet do that. Se-jin entered the room with Director Sang-min. Sir, I need to report a violation. The simulation parameters were altered during the test. All eyes turned to Admiral Minji. The graduation ceremony was held 2 days later. June stood with his team, now ranked first in their class. Commander Do-hyun presented them with honors, never before given to first-year cadets. Admiral Minji was notably absent. The investigation into her actions was ongoing. General Jae-sung approached June after the ceremony. I have a proposition for you, Cadet Kim. The Galactic Special Operations Division needs officers who think differently, who find solutions where others see only problems. I'm honored, General, but I still have much to learn here. Of course, finish your training. But remember, sometimes the greatest strength is being underestimated. The General smiled. Humans may be new to our galaxy, but I think you will change it more than anyone expects. That evening, June met with Hana Park one last time before she returned to Earth. You did it, she said, her eyes bright with pride. You showed them what humans can do. It was just the beginning, June replied. Admiral Minji won't be the last to fear us, but now they know. Underestimating humans is a mistake. Hana handed him a data pad. Look at this. The screen showed hundreds of new applications to the Academy, all from humans. Word spread quickly, she explained. You've opened the door. Now others will follow. June looked up at the stars through the window. The galaxy that had once seemed so vast and intimidating now felt like a place where humans belonged. They thought enrolling one human was a mistake, he said with a smile. Now they'll have to deal with many more of us. And are they ready for that? Hana asked. June thought about everything he had learned and overcome. No, he said finally. They have no idea what's coming. The galaxy's toughest military school had created something it never intended, its own worst nightmare. Not just one exceptional human, but the beginning of humanity's rise among the stars. And this was only the first chapter. 6 months had passed since June's team conquered the impossible scenario. The Academy was different now. 27 humans had joined the new class. Aliens watched them with a mixture of curiosity and concern. June, now in his second year, had new responsibilities. Commander Do-hyun had appointed him as a training advisor for the first-year cadets. "You will help the new humans adjust," the commander had said, "and perhaps teach our instructors a thing or two as well." Today, June stood before a group of nervous human cadets in the training hall. Their eyes were wide as they looked at the UO, equipment designed for stronger alien bodies. "I know what you're thinking," June said with a smile. "Everything here seems built to make you fail." A young woman named Mi-sun raised her hand. "How did you do it? The stories about you seem impossible." "That's what they all thought too," June replied, nodding toward a group of alien instructors watching from the doorway. "But humans have something special. We adapt. We find new ways. When they expect us to give up, we get creative instead." As he guided the new cadets through modified training routines, June noticed Director Sang-min entering with a tall alien in formal diplomatic clothes. "Cadet Kim," the director called. "A moment, please." June excused himself and approached them. The diplomat studied him with 6 eyes that blinked in sequence. "This is Ambassador Dong-hyuk of the Galactic Council," Director Sang-min explained. "He wishes to speak with you." The ambassador's translator hummed. "You have caused quite a stir, human. The council has been discussing your species with growing interest." June stood straight. "I hope those discussions have been positive, Ambassador. They have been passionate. Some council members see humans as a promising addition to our community. Others—" The EU ambassador paused. "Others share Admiral Minji's concerns." June had heard the rumors. After the investigation, Admiral Minji had been reassigned to a distant outpost, but she still had powerful friends. "The Admiral believes humans are unpredictable and potentially dangerous," the ambassador continued. "Recent events have not helped change that perception." "What events?" June asked. Director Sang-min looked uncomfortable. "There was an incident at the Centauri mining colony. A group of human workers solved a technical problem that had stumped galactic engineers for decades. They used unconventional methods." "That sounds like a good thing," June said cautiously. "It was," the ambassador replied, "until others realized those same methods could be applied to weapon systems. The Council is concerned about how quickly humans adapt our technology for new purposes." That evening, June received an urgent message from Hana Park. They met in a secure communication room. "Things are moving quickly, June," Hana said, her hologram flickering slightly. "Your success at the Academy has accelerated everything. The Galactic Council is divided on the human question." "So I've heard. Ambassador Dong-hyuk paid me a visit today." Hana nodded. "He's actually one of our allies, but there's a growing faction that wants to limit human involvement in galactic affairs. They're afraid of what happens when more humans start thinking, like you did in the impossible scenario." "What can I do?" "A special committee is coming to evaluate the human cadets. They want to see if you're an exception or if all humans have your adaptability." Hana looked concerned. "They'll arrive next week. This could determine humanity's place in the galaxy for generations." The news spread quickly. Human cadets gathered in June's room that night looking for guidance. "Is it true?" Mi-sun asked. "Are they coming to test us specifically?" June nodded. "They want to see what humans are capable of." A tall cadet named Dae-jung crossed his arms. "So they're afraid of us now? After centuries of thinking we were primitive?" "Fear and respect often look similar," June replied. "What matters is how we respond." Young-ho fluttered into the room, his wings making a soft humming sound. "I brought news," the alien said quietly. "The test they've designed is based on your solution to the impossible scenario. They think they've created something no human can solve." June smiled. "They still don't understand, do they? Each human thinks differently. If they design a test based on my solutions, it won't stop other humans from finding new approaches." The day of testing arrived. The special committee included representatives from 12 major species. They sat in the observation room while human cadets faced their challenge one by one. "We call this the human containment scenario," the committee had announced. It was specifically designed to counter human problem-solving methods. June watched as the first human cadet entered the simulation. The test was indeed based on his tactics, but with counters for everything he had done in the impossible scenario. The buffer zones were gone, the pattern recognition was randomized, the first cadet failed. So did the second and third. You see, a committee member said smugly to June. Your success was an anomaly. Most humans cannot. The fourth cadet, Misun, suddenly did something unexpected. Instead of trying to fight through the simulation or find hidden paths, she sat down in the middle of the room and began disassembling her equipment. What is she doing? The committee head asked in alarm. Using parts from her suit and weapons, Misun built a small device. When she activated it, the simulation flickered around her. She had created a localized EMP that disrupted the program itself. That's not allowed, the committee head sputtered. You never said we couldn't modify our equipment, Misun replied calmly as she walked to the exit. You only said we had to get through. More humans followed. Each found different solutions. One used sound frequencies to identify weak points in the simulation walls. Another calculated the exact timing needed to slip between shifting environments. Not all succeeded, but each approached the problem in ways the committee had never anticipated. Later, Ambassador Dong-hyuk met with June, as the committee argued, among themselves. You knew this would happen, the ambassador said. It wasn't a question. I knew humans would be humans, June replied. We don't solve problems the same way. That's our strength. And that is what frightens many in the council. The ambassador's 6 eyes blinked thoughtfully. They prefer predictability. Then they should predict that humans will always find another way. June stepped closer. Ambassador, humans don't want to threaten anyone. We want to contribute, but we won't be limited by the belief that there's only one correct approach to a problem. The ambassador was quiet for a moment. I will tell the council something important today. Something they need to understand. What's that? That trying to contain human creativity would be like trying to contain a solar flare. The more you resist it, the more powerful it becomes. The ambassador's translator hummed with what might have been amusement. Better to direct that energy than to fight it. 2 days later, the results of the committee's evaluation arrived. June read the report with growing surprise. The Galactic Council had created a new division, the Innovation Corps, specifically for humans and other creative species. They would tackle problems that conventional approaches had failed to solve, and June Kim had been named its first director. They're not containing us, he realized. They're unleashing us. Young Ho landed beside him. Is this good news for humans? June handed his friend the report. It's good news for everyone, they finally understand. Different doesn't mean dangerous. It just means new possibilities. As June looked out at the stars, he thought about how far humanity had come. From being seen as primitive newcomers to becoming the galaxy's problem solvers. All because one human had refused to accept the impossible.